Yo, Joe!
Hello everyone, and welcome to another figure review. As you can see, we have Snow Job here, and let me just tell you, I absolutely love this figure. There are a few issues that I don't like in regards to the mold, and I'll get to it later, but here's the box, and yes, I already got him out, but here's the box. I really love this style of windowless packaging. We have a little polar bear over there, and then we do have, I believe it's the actual polar bear vehicle from the vintage days, and then we do have a digital render of Snow Job there. Of course, we have the accessories here in the corner, and we'll get to those because those are exciting. Nice little portrait there, and on the side as well, he's number 67 on the line, or in the line I should say. And then there's again digital renders. You have close-ups of the face sculpt, and then the holster for some reason, his abilities there, and then the QR code, which the G.I.Joe website still isn't functioning. But yeah, that's the outside of the packaging. Of course, you do get a pretty large foot locker with his name and the number and the G.I.Joe logo there, and then we do get the black and white portrait in there. Very nice. But that is what comes with the box and the figure. And putting this aside, the figure does come out of the box like this. But with that being said, we're going to take a close look at the accessories. We do have a fair amount of them to look at. And so yeah, let's get right into it. So as I said, we do have a lot of accessories to look at, and we do have our vintage Snow Job joining us here for today. I'll make a vintage and classified comparison in a separate video, but we'll start with these. These in the box came in a separate, those wax baggies. These came separate from everything else, and they're not too badly bent. I think, let me see, yeah, this one seems a bit more curved, but even then, it's not a big deal. At least it's not like completely warped in one direction or whatever. But yeah, very much resembles the vintage snowboards we would get back in the day, which is very cool. Not a whole lot of detail, it's pretty flat black, but you do have peg there and some minor details there, just to show it off with a vintage one. You can see the differences or the similarities that they were going for here. So yeah, very exciting. And then we do get the two, I'm not a snow person. I live in the desert. We hardly get any snow. I'm just gonna call these the snow sticks or whatever. But yeah, here we have them. Also very much resembling the vintage ones with the strap there, and then the little spikes at the bottom there. But these do have the silver paint. So yeah, that is nice. Those go well with the two snowboards. I don't know what to call them, but next up we do have a brand new pistol, which I don't think we've seen, and you can port blast effects in it. So there's that. Very nice sculpt, and it is new if I remember correctly. We get a sniper rifle, which came with a sort of cardboard piece, to keep it straight, and it's pretty straight. For some reason, there's like the tiniest of curves to it, but for the most part it's pretty straight. Some different colors there and over here, so really good contrast of colors. And then it does come with the magazine with a bullet sculpted on it, and that should port in very nicely. Very cool. We're gonna move on to the glasses here, or goggles. Very cool. They do have that reflective, paint there. It's kind of a metallic paint, that kind of polarized look. But yeah, not much detail in the inside, but they look great. And then we do get, I guess we'll talk about these. Sort of like snowshoes, I guess, or snow paddles, whatever. Basically meant for walking in the snow, and you do get the 2 pegs. Some nice detailing overall, some different kind of colors there, and then some nice detailing here at the bottom. So yeah, those are cool. And then we get a separate neck piece here for snow job. Very nicely sculpted. You get some of that gray paint there, and then that kind of, what would you call this? I don't know what this is called in jackets. I'm just gonna call it fur. And then you do get a very cool looking head sculpt with, the hair out and all that stuff. Pretty majestic beard there. Very nicely done. One thing I'll note, the goggles, I don't think can go over his head unless you want to risk stretching the goggles and potentially ripping them. So I don't recommend doing that. These are meant to go on the other head sculpt, which, if we take a closer look, has, that kind of, snowsuit. I really don't know what the terms are for, this different kind of look. But yeah, the goggles do go on there as such. And then you do get this hood up piece, and when you can put the goggles on, put the head in there, and then forward it on back, and there you go. You have a cool looking hood up with the goggles. Display. Can obviously remove the head and then just put the hood down piece and then the head back on, or the other one on, whichever one you want. I don't know if you can fit this in. No, it doesn't seem to fit well because he does have a lot of hair on top, so yeah, it's not gonna fit with the hood up display. And yeah, different display options, and I'm still struggling to find which way I'm going to display them. But yeah, very fun figure to have. Now, in terms of articulation, this guy articulates pretty well. With the hood up, you can't get him to look down about that much, and up. Yeah, it does break up, the jacket look, but it's pretty good articulation. I think this one does a better job of moving the head around because this lays on the thing and it's not connected to the head, so it's not going to move around when you move the head. So yeah, there's that. When they first revealed this guy and they put up product shots, I was like, what kind of articulation system are they going to use here? And they did go with a ball joint at the top, so a lot of great movement just in the top alone, and then you do get the ball swivel here at the waist, so some more additional twist and crunching and all that stuff. Arms go out about that much. Very good. And very slight gapping there, a common issue we've been having with classified, but not too bad on this guy. And then very limited butterfly joint, doesn't move that much. Get the bicep swivel there, get double jointed arms. And here's an interesting thing, they have this cut here, but it does not rotate, so I'm not sure why they did that. It does look odd, and the white is different compared to the rest of this color, so I'm not really sure why they did that cut. Is it distracting? Yes and no. Like, over time I just kind of didn't bother with it. But yeah, there's that little complaint there of this weird cut, because it does seem to want to separate from time to time. I'm not sure how well it's going to hold up. Both hands are trigger fingers and they hinge vertically, so as such. And then this is a piece that I'll get into later, but it does kick a little bit. You know, this gets in the way, and then out, and then once you do get this out of the way, I mean, you can kick out and forward, but now this just looks weird because it's all the way up here rather than it being down here. Upper thigh cut there, double jointed knees, and then you do get a kind of a boot swivel here, as you can see. And yeah, it doesn't, yeah, I guess it moves pretty well. You know, so you get decent range there, and then you also get decent range with the foot. So, no, let me turn them around, up, back, and you do have the ankle pivot there. But yeah, this piece here, I am tempted to kind of modify so that it can actually sit here, and when I go to kick up the leg, the flap moves with the leg. So maybe doing a cut here in the middle, and then on the sides, you know, here, that way the flap moves up. I just wouldn't know how to prevent it from, you know, ripping all the way up. You know, I'm kind of tempted to just cut it and then cut it into different pieces and then glue them onto the waist piece. But I don't know if it's still something I'm thinking about. I mean, I don't want to ruin my figure, but I think that mobility there is very restricted going forward. And then once you do get it to go forward, this whole piece just looks very odd. And even in the product shots, it's one of the pictures they had, it did look odd because, you know, it was supposed to be, you know, sliding down the slope, and this was up here, and it just looked very wonky. So that's my one complaint with this. It's just this skirt piece. I think giving it like a few cuts so that the legs can move and the skirt moves or not. I mean, it's supposed to be a jacket piece, but you know, a few cuts here and there would have made it better for, you know, moving the legs around without it being too hindered. Yeah, I think that is my one major complaint. He is mostly a new sculpt, you know, body sculpt and all that stuff, which is very nice. We're just gonna take a quick look at all the details. You get this harness here, very cool. Different pouches just throughout the jacket, different zippers as well, and they're painted. Some more brown and belt pouches all over this guy. This is a new holster piece, I believe. We haven't seen that. You know, more pouches here on his legs, and even more over here. So yeah, he's very cool looking figure. And with that being said, let's look at his storage, because I think his storage is the best part of this guy. So storage wise, we do have the holster for the pistol, so that goes in there very nicely. We get the back piece, and this is going to store everything this guy comes with. You do have a entry for the sniper, and it does go in a particular way. It goes in as such with the scope facing that way. And is it that way? Nope, it's this way. So other way around, scope facing this other way. Just because there's more space on this side for a scope to go in, and then you should go all the way up to there, and you should be able to see, you know, the barrel of the gun there. You get two of these, but I think I'll show off the snowboards first, because you do have different, you know, plugs that you use to hold them in place. And then so we have one here, this goes here on this side, and these do port in very well, so there's no need to worry about these, you know, untabbing and, you know, struggling to keep them on. So as you can see, port that in and that in. There you go. You have your, I don't know what to call these sleds. They're on here. They're not going anywhere. So that's very nice. And then you get little hooks or just additional grabby things for the poles. And this one doesn't want to go in. I swear I did this before. There it goes. So that's plugged in there, and then you have the same thing on this side. And let's see. Yeah, this one's a bit wonky because you know it goes in here, but then it's like uneven on this side, so it tends to pop out a little. But it's no biggie. It still stays there very well. And then you get more storage for these walking snowshoes, and they go in there as such. And obviously you do have a hole in the back, port that in, and he will be top heavy. Let's see if I can stand him up here. There you go. You can stand him up and he doesn't look too awkward. I will say this back piece is very, you know, plasticky feeling. So, you know, I have the fear that over time, maybe with that much weight, this may start to bend or, you know, stress out. As you can see, it's like it wants to pop out and stuff, but I don't know, only time will tell. But storage is amazing with this guy. And I guess I forgot to go through, you know, the back piece itself during the, you know, accessory segment, but there's a closer look at it. Very cool. It is split in like 2 different pieces, but they are just glued onto each other. They're not meant to separate, as you can see there. You know, it's just where 2 molds are put together and glued onto each other. But yeah, this is amazing engineering from Hasbro's part. This feels like, I'm gonna say it, import level of a figure in terms of accessories and, you know, storage and all that stuff. This feels amazing, and you have additional heads and, you know, display options. This is how you do a, you know, deluxe figure. I think this is what a deluxe figure should look like, and, you know, the display opportunities and the amount of accessories and all that stuff. I think this is what a deluxe should be and should always strive to be. I'm looking at you, Marvel Legends team, and that horrendous Spider-Man deluxe figure. But this guy is amazing, and yeah, I mean, I don't think there's much to go through other than my final thoughts. You thought I was done. Saw something on the internet. I'm not sure who it was, and I'm sorry I can't give credit to that person. But I saw you could do, you know, some head swaps if you want to buy more snow jobs and have the body for, you know, snow outfits. I think Torpedo here is gonna work well with the hooded one. I mean, his head is very small compared to other Joes, but I mean, there's that option. You can have your Torpedo in the Arctic missions. Let's remove that. Let's see, we have a Snake Eyes head. Will this go in here? Yep, it does. Ooh, that looks sick. Let's see. Will it port in though? I'm not sure that ported in very well, but that's an option. We've seen Snake Eyes with, you know, the, you know, Arctic kind of disguise or outfit. Let's see, we have, that was Torpedo, Snake Eyes. Let's see if we can get Spirit's head on here. Oh, you can certainly do, yep, man, that looks amazing. It doesn't like pop in, but it does feel secure enough in there, so That's an option. That looks cool. Okay, let's see. Of course I gotta do Dusty, my boy Dusty, and he looks a bit okay. Well, fixing it around doesn't look too bad. Let's see who else we got here. We have Sergeant Stalker here. I think we've seen him with this kind of outfit too. Yeah, that doesn't look bad. I mean, because it's supposed to be a bulky kind of outfit, so the heads should look tiny, and I think that looks very good there. Remove that head. Oh, everything's gonna fall. And let's see. This is a rock and roll. Oh yeah, that looks good. So there's even more display options if you want to buy more snow jobs. Just for the kind of Arctic code. I mean, you can always customize them to look different. You can remove a holster and add a different holster. You can cut this and just remove it and that kind of thing. But I think that is brilliant that you can do this kind of head swapping. I'm gonna do snow jobs over head sculpt. It's not porting in there very well, but that's how that looks right there. So yeah, that's a different option you guys have with this new figure and body that we have here. So very cool to see you can interchange different heads to have different looks for different G.I. Joe members. And there you guys have it. Finally, the end of the review. My overall opinion on it, it's a fantastic figure. You can't go wrong with it. Yeah, other than the minor issue with the little skirt piece or jacket piece, whatever you want to call it. I really do want to see if I can fix that in some way, but for the most part it doesn't really bother me. The pegs for these things also tend to, if you move them around, they're not the securest, as you can see there, but they do port in and they do work for the most part. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I had fun with it, and hopefully you guys had fun here too. But it's just amazing to display, and like I said earlier in this video, I still don't know how to display them. I really don't know how. There's so many options and I just can't make up my mind. I think what I'll go with is goggles on, hood up, kind of vintage style, and then maybe keep them with the snowshoes and the rifle, but I'm not too sure. I mean, it's a snow job. He needs to slide around the snow. I'm very conflicted on how to display him, and I think that's a good thing because Hasbro has delivered a very fun figure to play with and pose and display. And so yeah, I'm very happy with this figure, as you guys can tell. One of the probably top 10 already in the list of this year. I mean, we're getting closer to the end of the year. We still have so many more figures to receive and take a look at. But yeah, this guy is up there. I highly recommend you guys getting this guy. Do not, sleep on it. He is well worth your money. Like I said, this is how you get deluxes done. Not like that crappy Spider-Man repaint that we saw a few months ago. This is a solid figure. So yeah, with that being said, I'll let you guys go, and I'll just let Snowjob here spin in his glory, and I'll see you guys in a future video. No, you won't have any snow to slide around. Mostly dirt. Sorry, Snow Job. But at least you can slide on the dirt.